Hi, I'm Justin Jensen, and welcome to my channel. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and may fall again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. Teddy Roosevelt. What's going on, my people? It's good to see everyone today. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is November 10th, 2022. I really appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere, but you chose to be right here with me as we learn and talk about these cases. So I really appreciate that. So today we're going to be talking and going over kind of a refresher course of the Casey Anthony and Leilani Simon case. And of course, we have little Kaylee Anthony, who was a victim to her mother, obviously Casey Anthony, and we have little Quentin Simon, who she's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. However, in my opinion, I feel like she has done this, and so I'll just say that. But as far as a court of law, she is innocent until proven guilty. In the court of public opinion, I think everyone mainly has probably made their mind up. Thank you all for the sweet comments. I do appreciate it. While you guys are coming in, if you will do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button, I would greatly appreciate it. Um, Jerry Moore, they need to pay. You are absolutely right. It sickens me that Casey Anthony is out, still partying every single night, nearly, from what I understand, in South Florida, Miami, and while her daughter is lifeless in a grave, where Casey Anthony threw her daughter along the side of a road just a little bit down the street from where she lived, throwed her out like trash. And so we're going to be talking. First, we're going to give a refresher course because it's been, you got to, it's 2008. So it's been a minute. So we're going to talk about the Casey Anthony case. And then we are going to talk about behaviors of Casey Anthony, behaviors of Leilani Simon, how they both have similarities. And we're also going to talk a little bit in those similarities about um, how these cases kind of, I guess, line up together. Women Are Sacred. Yes, thank you for joining me. New documentary on Peacock on the 29th. Casey Speaks. I don't think I'll even watch. Vinnie Politan on Court TV made a great um, I thought it was a comment, great comment, saying, "Did she get paid for this? I can't imagine her uh, not talking if she hadn't have gotten paid." Oh, Shiloh Rose, thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I would like to thank my Patreons. Thank you so much. Y'all are rock solid. And thank you to my members here. I couldn't do this without you guys, my Patreons or my members. You guys make it possible for me to go places, do things, and I really do appreciate it. And I just appreciate everyone being here. Um, it means a lot to me. It really does. And if if you can't donate, you can't become a member or a Patreon, just do me a favor and hit the thumbs up. I understand it's hard times for a lot of people. Um, so if you can't do any of those, I would appreciate if you would just give me a thumbs up. That would mean a lot. Thank you so much, Bryn Marshall, for your super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for your kindness. Um, yeah, won't watch what she did to Kaylee and her father and brother. Yeah, yeah. And we're going to talk about, we're not going to go like super deep into it, but we're going to get a little bit. Hold on, sorry. Mittens, please stop. I have a cat and a dog fight right now. Quit. Goodness. Uh, Thank you, Darren Puga, for becoming a member. I really do appreciate your membership. And Regina, thank you so much for becoming a member. I do appreciate your membership so much. Thank you. Um, yes. So, all right. So let's get started. Renee, yay. Thank you. I appreciate your membership, my dear. Appreciate it. Wow. You guys are just blessing me with memberships. Thank you, Sepsis. Thank you so much for your super sticker. It means a lot. Thank you. Um, Yeah, the way I said please stop was funny. I'm like, like I'll talk to my, like I talk to my animals, right? So I'm like, stop, like they actually. I mean, maybe they know what I'm saying. Do they know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think they know the tone, or maybe they memorize words. I don't know, but they get it. So Jaja, my little pug, she was trying to get her butt kicked by my little kitty Mittens. So yeah, the Casey Anthony trial was crazy, crazy. Thank you, Sepsis. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Um, once so, you are correct on both, Justin. So, sorry, I'm just looking at this comment. Justice for all. Casey Anthony did have Kaylee in a truck, dead. And Lise Lailani didn't do that, but dumped like trash sick. Yeah, very much so. Very much so. All right, so let's get started. We're going to talk about Casey Anthony first, and then Jackie, no worries. If you can't afford it, just give me a thumbs up. I mean, that means it really helps. It really does help. Just a simple thumbs up really helps tremendously. All right, here we go. So I am going to be reading. So if I don't thank you for the memberships or anything, um, my one of my ICU will text me, and at the end of the show, I will I'll thank you. So or super chats or anything. So because I want to give this my undivided attention, and I will so give you thanks right at the end of it. All right. So here we go. Casey Anthony versus Leilani, also known as Lailani. Uh, similarities between the two. What can we learn between the two? So it's been a while since we can remember all of this Casey Anthony stuff. So in 2008, everybody was fixated. I mean, it was a whole deal. You guys remember as like the HLN, Nancy uh shit, Nancy Drew. What's her God, I can't think of her name. I just had a brain fart. Come on, Nancy Grace, sorry. In 2008, the world watched the bizarre behavior displayed by Casey Anthony. Who else's bizarre behavior are we watching right now? Well, I would say Leilani and her mama, Billy Joe. Uh, she was 22 years old at the time. This was a fact that I'm going to tell you guys later, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you now. Leilani is 22 right now, and Casey Anthony was 22 when this happened. Both are 22. So, yes, K Bears. Yes, yes, yes. They are both the same age. So that's an interesting, very interesting detail. Um, and Casey Anthony, she was a single mother from Orlando, Florida, uh, and she started to spin this web of lies to cover up from the disappearance of her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee. Now, Quentin Simon is 20 months. And so we're right at the same age. It's very interesting. Mothers who uh, generally kill a child when they're 5 or below, 5, anywhere from 0 to 5 years old. And even up to 8 years old. But generally, fathers who kill are generally kill um, mainly teenage years in that area, but 8 and over. So yes, okay. So it's just another interesting thing. The ages kind of line up there as well. Now, Kaylee, that summer, she Facebook photos of it's supposed to mean I'm supposed to mean Casey, not Kaylee. Casey that summer, she was showing Facebooks of her partying, going around town, and all of that, and just living her life up. Now, she was she was charged with first degree murder even before Kaylee's body was discovered. And it wasn't discovered for I think it's 5 or 6 months later. Yes, Mandy. They have a lot of similarities. We're going to talk about that. We're really going to get into that in a little bit, I promise. Yes. The Vita, yes, exactly. So she was charged before they found her body. Now, we can't even get, an arrest on Leilani, right? Hello, Bullhorn Betty. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Um, so, she was arrested, and, her parents kind of stood by her, in the beginning. And here in a little bit, I'm going to show you some videos of protesters outside the Anthony home. And if people think we were loud and all of that, they don't remember clearly Casey Anthony's. They clearly don't remember the Casey Anthony case, because that is crazy. There was fights, and the sheriff um, in Florida really valued people's constitutional uh, rights. And that is something that we should all cherish in this country. Now, no matter how crazy it got outside, he still said, "There's nothing you can do because they're protesting." They didn't call them grifters or anything like that. And if this outfit in Georgia thinks we are crazy or whatever, grifters, or what do they call us? What did they call us? Not protesters. They called us uh, hecklers. Hecklers. If they think we're hecklers, they he needs to look at the Casey Anthony case, because he will see them then. This is a picture of our little darling Kaylee Anthony. She is a victim of her bio mother, Casey Anthony. And Casey Anthony is still in Florida, partying. A few years ago, she called 911 because she was having a problem at a nightclub. And she just seemed very self self-involved, really, at that time. So and there was no justice. No justice ever happened for Kaylee Anthony. It is sad. This little girl is in the dirt, thrown to the side because of her mother, who was still out partying and has breath in her lungs. She was 2 years old. That's correct. It's always complicated. Yes. She does like the attention, Bullhorn Betty, but I would bet one of these days she's going to maybe come across the wrong person who she's not going to like the attention from, I would bet. August 9th, 2005, Kaylee Marie Anthony is born, and Kaylee arrives after Casey's repeated denial to the other family members about her pregnancy. The family constantly asked, "Are you pregnant? Are you sure you're not pregnant?" And it was just about the end of her pregnancy till she just couldn't lie anymore. Like, "You're clearly pregnant. You're not just got a big belly." And, she lied. And, I've always kind of thought it's sad whenever like mothers lie that they're pregnant, because pregnancy is a beautiful thing. First of all, you have a life inside of you. Women are, they sustain life for humanity, and that's something to be cherished and valued. Um, and I always feel like, that baby takes on that energy of like shame of the mother being pregnant or not wanting to be pregnant. I don't know. I've just always felt that way. Although she suggests possible partners, including then fiance Jesse Grund and another young man who supposedly died in a car accident. The identity of Kaylee's father is never publicly revealed. So we, truthfully, as far as the public goes, we never, ever know who Casey Anthony or Kaylee Anthony's bio father is. Um, so yeah, it's just a very while you can adopt, yeah, and become a foster or adopt. Absolutely. You can always do that. Yes, guys, if you're just joining us, just please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. I really do appreciate it, and it really, really helps me. So on June 16th, 2008, Casey drives off with Kaylee. Kaylee was raised in Orlando, home of her grandparents, Cindy and George Anthony. They are, a lot of people has mixed emotions on Cindy and George, but I like Cindy and George now. They were taking up for their daughter. They just couldn't, but George is former police officer. And so, you think you just can't think of your daughter possibly murdering your child. And I can understand how people feel, like, no, not my daughter, not my kid. And then once you find out that this, oh my God, this really did happen, it's a lot. And I'm sure it does take times to process it. And almost a grieving process. And I do have a little, I have sympathy more toward Billy Joe, because I mean she has two kids that are murderers, and something is wrong in that family, in my opinion. uh and how do you raise two murderers? And she openly admitted it, which, and Billy Joe, I will give you credit for that, because I knew that's a hard thing to admit. Um, so you know, just saying the words out loud is hard. So, but something is wrong. I know you was probably not that great of a mother, with the prostitution and drugs as a mother in your younger years. Um, who knows if that has, I'm sure it has some role to play in it somewhere along the way. Sue, thank you so much for becoming a member. I do appreciate your membership. Um, so little Kaylee, she was raised with uh, Cindy and George Anthony, but the day after an alleged family argument on Father's Day, June 15, Casey leaves with her young daughter and rebuffs efforts to reconcile in person. So, as you will see here, Casey got in a fight with her parents. Now, by all accounts, a month prior to little Quentin Simon going missing, who gets in a fight? Billy Joe and who? Leilani. Um, and there is a lot of tension in the home. Billy Joe herself says, "We're not living in peace in this house. They need to go." Um, Nobody was living in peace. It was constant fighting. Now, from what I have heard, and others have heard, Billy Joe and Leilani fought like wildcats. When they fought, they really fought. Um, but when it was good between the two, and there was usually partying involved when it was good between the two, and of course, drugs. So there's a fight the day before. An argument breaks out in Casey Anthony and her parents, Cindy and George. So that's another similarity. Um, June 15th, 2008. Um, Pardon me one second. June 15th, 2008, Cindy reports that Kaylee is missing after learning that a family car used by Casey had been impounded. George retrieves the car and is overwhelmed by the smell. So he was coming home, and he's just like, he couldn't, that smell. And you have to remember, George is former law enforcement. If you have ever smelled decaying human remains, you will never forget it. If you work as a cop, or at a funeral home, uh, any medical examiner, of course, that's a given. Um, you'll never ever forget it. And I can imagine how the anxiety that he must have had, and just the sheer suspicion as he was driving that car home. I'm sorry, guys, if y'all hear snoring. That is my pug right now. I apologize. Yes, Jody, she did blame it on the trash bags. She did have trash in the back. But George said, and I will agree to this, it doesn't matter if there's trash in the back. It is very distinct. There's not another smell like it on the planet. It is distinct. It doesn't matter if the whole car is filled with trash. It's different. Um, so anyway, so he's overwhelmed by the smell of the remains, and a trash bag in the back is removed from the trunk. Cindy tracks down her daughter later that day, because I bet you George had questions. And over a string of 911 calls, she reports that Kaylee has been missing for a month. So, Kaylee, at the time when Casey's mother calls her, Kaylee has already been missing a month. Now, automatic for, suspicion, there has to be automatic suspicion. What mother doesn't report their child being missing for a month? And so let's see here. Casey's mother, she calls, and she's like, my daughter Kaylee, or my granddaughter Kaylee, is missing. She's been missing for a month. And that is, right around then is when George comes home with the car. And then George, comes in, and he's like, something smells. And then she automatically calls back, and she reports on the 911 call that it smells like there's been a damn body in the back of the car, or the trunk. Reports that Kaylee has been missing for a month, demands Casey's arrest, and notes the vehicle odor, saying, where'd my typing go? Okay. Anyway, it smells like there's a damn body in the back of the car, of the damn car is how she said it. So Casey, she leads the investigators on a wild goose chase, guys. And when I say wild goose chase, I mean freaking wild goose chase. At this time, whenever things are just first, they're first kind of getting caught, they are buying time. They are trying to think up stuff. and they are not making sense, but trying to make sense as it goes along. So Casey takes these two investigators on a wild goose chase. First, to an uninhabited apartment of a nanny named, they call her Zanny the nanny, uh, Gonzalez. Now, I like that name is a real name from what I understand. And the address was real, but that person did not live at that address. But Casey is saying that that the nanny ran off with Kaylee on June 9th. So I always thought when she always said Zanny the nanny, I always thought she's saying Xanax because they call Xanax Zannies. Zanny the nanny. These are people who give their kids drugs, and they give them, I'll just say it, drugs, and um, that's their nanny along the way, right? I always thought Zanny the nanny was drugs, Xanax to be more specific. But then she takes him to Universal Studios, and Casey pretended to have a job there. Now, Casey Anthony used to work at Universal Studios, but she hadn't worked there for over 2 years. And so the investigators get to Universal Studios, and she says she works in what was it? Where you're like booking parties and stuff, all of that. Like I don't know. But they get there and she's like, she goes to like, they go to the manager or whatever, and they're looking up, Casey Anthony, and she's like, the manager's like, sorry, we don't have a Casey Anthony that works here. And she's like, oh yeah, and then she gave her old supervisor's name, and they started looking that up too, and they're like, oh, well, we don't have that person, who's a supervisor here anymore. So right then and there, she knew that she was event planner. Thank you, Yorkie. Yes, event planner. That's what she was. So it had to be, for a normal person, that would be very embarrassing. But right then and there, the investigators knew that she was lying and interfering with a criminal investigation. You lie to a police officer, they can arrest you for lying. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not saying it's fair or I'm not saying it's right. They can lie to you when you're being interrogated, but it's not the other way around because they are the law. So, on June 22nd, 2008, Casey is declared a, quote, person of interest. Now, they're not saying suspect, but they're, and a bond hearing. So she is arrested. They have not even closely found Kaylee yet, her missing 2-year-old. Now, I would say the people in the cops in Florida at least has some balls to them, just to put it frank, which is what they should do. I mean, who knows what Leilani could be doing right now? She could be, allegedly covering up stuff or whatever. Nobody knows. Maybe she's being watched very close. I don't know. I would assume that she is, but with what we have seen going on in that county already, I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't watching her, to be honest with you, but who knows? So the hearing introduces evidence that a cadaver dog had zeroed in on an odor of human decomposition, also known as human decomp, in the car trunk and in Anthony's backyard, as well as Cindy's admission, which is Casey's mother, that they had all seen Kaylee. They all seen Kaylee after June 9th, although Casey is being held on relatively minor charges, Savannah, Georgia. Relatively minor charges she's being held on, which is exactly what you could do, Savannah. Which is exactly what you could do, Chief Hadley. Just saying. But this judge is so disturbed enough by the evidence and the young mother's seemingly indifferent behavior. Now, Casey didn't act like she was, really worried. In my opinion, Leilani doesn't seem like they're too worried. I mean, they're out, going to these little bars and having drinks. They're out, dropping the disco ball under in the yard, and they're all cutting up fish guts and fish heads and putting these big banners up of YouTubers and putting uh, signs in the windows and playing music and just having a grand old time. It feels like they're not interested in little Quentin Simon, right? But this judge in Florida set bail at $500,000, $500,000 on August 20th, 2008. Yeah, bringing a clown out and doing a whole lot of other stuff. So they haven't done a single act that would show they have or had any concern for baby Q at all. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I will always be for the victim. Always. Always. I will have sympathy to the end of the earth for parents, and I have, who their kids were taken or hurt by someone else other than the parents. I have sympathy for that, but I don't give sympathy to someone who is still living in that house, when the child was allegedly murdered in that house. And the one and only suspect in bold letters is Leilani Simon. That's it. Nothing else. That is all the police are saying right now. And that they are confident that little Quentin Simon, 20 months old, is in the damn landfill from where She was he was thrown away in a trailer park dumpster. So listen, if you think I'm going to have an ounce of sympathy for someone who killed their child, you're wrong. Wrong. No sympathy. None. None. That's my opinion. You're welcome to have yours, whatever that is. But my opinion is that she did this. The suspect, according to the police, is Leilani Simon, the one that I think did this. Now, she might have had help. She definitely might have had help. Billy Joe said, "None of us are living in peace. None of us are living in peace. I've had to give Leilani sympathy. I have babied her more than any other of my kids. I've told her I've loved her. I've loved her. She said she's never felt love. They say she's acts younger than her age. She acts like a kid herself." Guess what? I can't have sympathy for the person who took the kid away, little Quentin Simon. You took the kid away, Billy Joe, to protect him from his mother, which is your daughter. That's why you took custody, right? Why else would you take custody? Was it for a check? I don't know. But you knew that she was not right for whatever reason, drugs, partying, and everything. And literally every single neighbor said the same thing, almost verbatim, actually. She was not interested in being a mother at all, and something just didn't jive up here, in their opinion. So, I give Billy Joe a little bit more leniency personally. That doesn't mean you have to, or you can give her all the leniency in the world. It's your decision, your opinion. I'm not a judge. I'm not a jury. I'm just telling you my opinion. You're allowed to have yours. I'm allowed to have mine. Kumbaya. So, like I said, I have a little bit more sympathy because Billy Joe didn't directly, in my opinion, kill little Quentin Simon. I believe, in my opinion, that allegedly Leilani did. However, it could have been an accident. It is possible that it was an accident. Um, she may have been high or something like that, and just kind of was out of it. So she would have been willingly neglectful, but Billy Joe was neglectful in that as well. She was equally neglectful because she got guardianship of these children because she knew her daughter was not capable of doing this. Going back to Miss Casey Anthony, August 20th, 2008, Casey's bond is posted by California bounty hunter, not dog, uh, Leonard Padilla, announces that he has paid the $500,000, $500,000 with the hope that Casey will lead him to Kaylee. He's wrong. Wrong. Not going to happen. August 30th, 2008. The bond is reinstated. The reversal comes a day after Casey's arrest for allegedly stealing and cashing checks from a friend. Who else steals and cashes checks or steals whatever? Who else? Sorry, rescinded. I said reinstated. I'm sorry. I apologize. Um, who else steals? Has been charged for stealing. Ding 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 ding. You are right, Johnny. Ring. Good job. Right. Lailani, and Billy Joe. But let's have sympathy for them, right? Let's have sympathy for them. They're just, one's a baby killer and the other one's like not, but they just steal and hook and blow coke out their nose. It's such good people. Sorry. So she's allegedly stealing and cashing checks from her friends, with the angry crowds demonstrating outside the Anthony's home, contributing to the decision. To the decision. Let's look at some of the angry crowds outside. And it's ugly. It's ugly because people were fed up. I got 480 likes. I need more likes. Let's get it to 500. Come on. Come on. Thank you guys for the memberships. Thank you for the memberships. Come on. 492. Get it to 500. Come on. 503. Come on. I can talk again. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Okay. Thumbs up, everyone. All right. So, listen, the Anthonys are good people, but they were they were taking up for their daughter in the beginning, and they were fighting with the outside protesters because they couldn't imagine their daughter killing their granddaughter. I get that. These were two good parents overall. He was a police officer. I don't know what she did. I don't know if she was just stay-at-home mom or what. So, all right. Let's look at some of the protesters. Now I have more compassion for them. At the time in 2008, we were mad as hell that so 1 second. Here we go. Now it's more blurry. These are cameras from 2008, just when the iPad and stuff came out. Technology wasn't as good. It hasn't been that long ago. Obviously, she
her baby that did nothing wrong. That's it. Damn! I wonder what was going through her mind when she buried her daughter somewhere. Exactly. Teach her something else instead of killing a kid. Can't be mad because this is what you asked for. You're protecting a baby killer. Then why are you sitting here protecting her? I'm not sitting protecting anybody. Because that's not even home. Okay, that's not even home. But she killed her baby. And you know it. No, she did it. These FCC call us you. Hey. These FCC call you. No. You call her one more time. And what do you? Cindy, what are you gonna do? Oh my God. What are you gonna do?
So there we go. Right? Now I'm going to show you this. This was a freaking madhouse. You think there's a lot of protesters, maybe 30 protesters at Leilani's and Billy Joe's? You ain't seen nothing. How quickly we forget, right? How quickly we forget. But let me show you what the police do. In Florida, they believe in people's constitutional rights. Now listen, we are going back to Savannah, Georgia to protest. You cannot take away someone's constitutional rights. You can call us what do they call us? That shows how much I care. They can call us hecklers, but they can call us loitering. But loitering is when you're at some place without a purpose. That is called loitering. When you're without a someplace without a purpose. Okay? We're there for a purpose. Protesting, using our constitutional rights that is afforded to us by every American citizen in this country. 315 million of us.
New information tonight in the search for Kaylee Anthony.
We just learned the Orange County Sheriff's Office has a new tool that's designed to keep the peace at the home on Hope Spring Drive. Let's go first on Fox to Holly Listo live outside the Anthony family home. How'd you find out about this?
Well, Ken, we actually saw a guy out here working and digging some things up earlier. It didn't really make much sense to me what he was doing until I saw him up on a ladder. Let me show you this device and where it is. That's the Anthony's home, which you probably recognize right there. If you go one driveway over and up that pole, you'll notice a brand new security surveillance camera installed up there, and it's actually pointed down towards the Anthony's home. Now, I went over and spoke with the HOA president of the community just...
That's right. They installed a camera system in case things get out of hand. That way, they don't have to sit there. The police, they can look from wherever they're at, or if they get a call out, they can review the camera. They didn't say, "Oh, I'm going to stick this loitering sign right there," and I'm going to take away their constitutional rights. That's how you do it, Savannah. That's exactly right, Nikita. That's how you do it. Listen, I get it. There is, that you can't do some things. You can't block driveways. You can't block roads unless you have a permit to block the road. But you don't need a permit to protest in this country, ever. Unless you have like a huge, vast amount of people. But even that, you could probably fight. And that was over a decade ago. Ding, ding, ding. I don't know who said that. I apologize. I just saw the comment. I didn't see them flash by too quick. That was over a decade ago. And this sheriff knew how to do that. Okay? Sheriff knew how to do that. over a decade ago. He put a freaking camera up. One camera. Go to Best Buy, get a Wi-Fi, so, something.
A little while ago, he tells me that he had some concern because they didn't know what it was doing up there. So they asked the officer who was out here patrolling the neighborhood last night, and apparently it belongs to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. They put it up there so that way they will not need to patrol this area as much as they have been. Right now, they've got a deputy at each end of the Anthony Street overnight. They're hoping that by having this camera installed, they'll be able to keep an eye on what's going on, and if they need to send someone out here and dispatch a deputy out here, they'll be able to do that. And meanwhile, if there's another fight or some sort of, fight or disagreement that goes on here, or there's any kind of conflict in front of the Anthony's home, they will actually have their own video to prove what was going on out here, and they won't need to station somebody out here 24/7. So eventually, the HOA president tells me that they're hoping that this will actually be a cost-effective way for the sheriff's office to be able to make sure that their community is safe when the protesters come back out here again.
When the protesters come back out here again, 2008. What, 15, 16 years ago, they did this. 16 years ago. 16 years ago. An eye on the house, an eye on the protesters. It saves money, saves time. This sheriff didn't want to screw with constitutional rights because that's a very slippery slope. Very slippery slope.
Live in Orange County in front of the Anthony's home, Holly.
So there's that, right? There's that. Now, I want to show you this, and then we're going to get back to it. Oh, wrong one. So there we go. Right? Now, this is the thing. The police chief works for the county. He is a servant of the county. You are there to protect and serve and follow your constitutional duty. That is what you're there for. You are to uphold the laws of this country. Uphold them. You're not supposed to take away laws, add laws, anything like that. You're supposed to uphold them, whether you agree with them or not. That is what you took your oath on. So, there we go. You can't take away someone's right. So, where was I? Anthony will. Okay. On August 30th, 2008. Okay, I already read that one. Okay. The unsealed indictment also charges her with aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter, and 4 counts of providing false information to law enforcement. On December 11th, 2008, the skeletal remains of a young girl is discovered. The bones are found in a bag, a trash bag, in a wooded area less than a half-mile away from the Anthony's home by a utility worker, Ray Kronk. It is later revealed that Kronk had sought to convince police to search the area back in the summer. So, utility worker. A utility worker found little Kaylee Anthony's remains. And that was some 6 months later. 6 months later. Now, you can probably assume that little Quentin Simon was dumped in a dumpster. Probably, I would say, in a luggage, a trash bag, but either way, he was not trash. He was a thriving, growing, sweet, precious little boy who didn't deserve to be thrown in a dumpster, to be thrown in a landfill, and to be having mountains of the most nasty of nasty trash, feces, blood, everything you can imagine is at that landfill. Everything you can imagine. And they found her. They found her wrapped in a garbage bag, and she had obviously decomposed, was more or less skeletal remains. She was clothed. They had photos of her wearing a shirt. They had a picture of her, the shirt she was wearing in the Anthony's house. So they compared the photo with what she was wearing. And there was taped wrapped around her mouth. It was wrapped into her hair, obviously from the decay, skeletal remains. It had slipped. So they believed that it was wrapped. Tape was wrapped around little Kaylee's mouth. That is what these horrible human beings do to their own children. Yes, she is a monster. She is a monster. Yep. Jerry, the heart sticker, that is actually believed, that was found some 50 feet away, and the FBI didn't take a picture exactly where it was. That part was kind of actually screwed up, that they don't believe the actual heart sticker was part of the evidence. It was entered into evidence, but then it was thrown out. So that was a big thing. That was a big thing, though. It was a big deal that they made out of that heart sticker. So Yes, this is what people do. Children are a gift. They're precious. They deserve love. They don't deserve um, this, certainly. There's nothing any human being can do other than, in my opinion, murder uh, to deserve something like this. It's just despicable. So, Apard Voss of the Oak Ridge National Laboratory explains how the quote, shockingly high, end quote, amount of chloroform, a chemical released by decomposition, as well as that can be used to knock someone unconscious. During the Civil War, they would they would put a rag over you and chloroform to knock you out during surgical procedures, that kind of thing. Um, it was Googled chloroform on Casey Anthony or the Anthony computer once and only once. Um, but they believe that Casey Anthony, one second, guys, sorry. Pardon me. Sorry about that, guys. Um, so, regardless, whether it was chloroform or it was some other substance, they believe that Casey Anthony drugged her child so she could go out and party. And that is where I believe, personally, in my rationale, that Zanny the nanny came from. Personally. Personally. Um, so that's that. Um, so there was a lot of chloroform detected in the car trunk that led to his conclusion that a dead body was indeed present. However, his testimony is contradicted the following day by an FBI scientist who compares the chloroform level in the trunk to the amount found in household cleaners. Chloroform is in household cleaners. Every single day when you're cleaning, something in your house has chloroform in it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Uh, why didn't she just give her daughter to the parents? To be honest with you, Brenda, in my opinion, many times uh, mothers will kill for revenge. Um, and to me, this is kind of a combo. Like, I don't think she killed uh, Kaylee, in my opinion, because of revenge. But remember, the last time she saw her parents, Casey and Kaylee, Casey had gotten in a fight with the parents, right? So I believe she wanted to keep Kaylee away from them to punish them from seeing their grandchild. And she was too proud uh, to let Kaylee go back to the grandparents, so she would just drug her while she could party all night and sleep around with men. So it's kind of like a combination, in my opinion. And we will talk about Leilani. It's kind of similar to something like that in just a little bit. Um, so, you know, no, West. Little Kaylee was found in the woods half a mile away. We're comparing uh, for the Casey Anthony and Leilani Simon were comparing them. Casey Anthony had Kaylee Anthony, and Leilani Simon has Quentin Simon, and they're kind of similar. Do you think it was accidental on purpose? I actually think it was accidental. I think Casey's was, I mean, you drug your kid, right? They drugged their kid, but I mean, I believe she had done this many times to Kaylee, but it was too much. Whatever she gave her this time. Um, so yeah, there's chloroform in household cleaners every day. Ricardo and Tony, right here they are. Casey, she is diabolical. And the family's reactions are so similar. Yes. Yes. Now the Anthony's, you know, are a lot different, but no, Kaylee was not found in a creek. No. She was found in a little very vegetated wooded area really down the street, less than a half a mile. And this is who Casey was dating and sleeping with these two guys at the time, and it was just Casey loved to party. She loved to club. There are photos. I should have added them here, but I didn't. Of Casey being in a like a bar or a club, like beauty contest or whatever, hot girl contest at a club, while like just a couple days, they think, after little Kaylee was dead. And she's driving around with this car with a dead child in it, her dead child in it, and going to these clubs. A hot body contest. Yeah, thank you, Lockdown with April C. So just think of that. Think of that. And Leilani loves a lot of attention too. Billy Joe said she could never give Leilani enough attention, and she gave Leilani more attention than all of the kids combined. Probably just needing it, eating it in. So, and they obviously testified, and Casey Anthony, she was like a saloon door. She swung both ways. She was into girls. She was into guys. She was into any bit of attention that she needed. Now, by most accounts, Casey, uh, prior to all of this, like she was really good with Kaylee. Now she blamed it that that her daughter drowned, and it was a whole big thing with Casey's father. They had blamed him, the defense and all of that. But here's a picture of Casey and little Kaylee, and this murderer is still alive. She still has air in her lungs, and she is making money. She is still clubbing. And this little darling right here is 6 feet under because of the one who gave her life also killed her. Also killed her. Now, Casey Anthony's parents say Casey was a very needful child, quote unquote. She required probably more attention than the average child. She was always needing to be the center of attention. Didn't matter where Casey went, she needed to be the center of attention. Casey loved attention from men. She was highly sexual. She was aggressive, narcissism, superficial charm, just constantly about me, me, me. She, as long as it made her feel good, whether it was drugs, sex, rock and roll, clubbing, whatever you want to call it, um, anything superficial, she was just very surface level. There was nothing deeper with Casey Anthony, and probably, in my opinion, I would say Leilani is very similar. I mean, she has 3 children by 3 different men. Uh, she swings both ways, from what we understand, meaning that she likes guys and girls. Allegedly, Leilani does. And we know that Casey Anthony is a pathological liar. She lied and lied and lied, and she's stolen. And we also know that Leilani lies. Her mother, Billy Joe, has said, even on an interview, you can't believe nothing the girl says. I should have pulled that up, but I didn't. But um, Leilani lies. So many different, um, so many similar, uh, comparing the two. Uh, she is also, Casey Anthony is very manipulative, also cunning. She will do whatever it takes to get what she wants, whether it's a man, she needs the attention, or whatever. She will manipulate the situation. In my opinion, I would say Leilani is very similar, according to even her mother, says this. Now, Casey Anthony, uh, from psychological findings, uh, and some of it was actually released in the court's uh, records and all that. She was shown to have a lack of remorse or guilt. Um, and Casey Anthony is also emotionally shallow. Like I said, she doesn't get deep. It's always constant surface, very worldly, no nothing of any depth that you're going to have a conversation with her. You're not going to talk to her about really world affairs or anything scholarly, anything of any academics or anything of that nature. She's just very uh, emotionally shallow. She can't connect on a deeper level. It is just really about partying, having fun. That's it. Callous and lack of, and who else do we know or assume or see who is emotionally shallow? And that is Lailani. They say she's like a 15-year-old. Multiple people, neighbors, uh, everyone has said that she's just like a child. And you know and to be honest with you, children are very, especially when they're younger, they're very surface level. It's just about you know them being happy, very simple things. And so I would consider Lailani like that as well. Now, callous, lack of empathy toward others other than herself. You know, it's just about how can she be pleased. Uh, what makes Casey Anthony happy, and that is men, drugs, money, you know, clubs. That's pretty much it. So Casey loved to party. She loved the night scene. Drugs and drinking with partying obviously comes from the night scene, the clubs, and all of that. She has been, and that's another thing. Who loves to go out? Who loves to drink? Who loves to party? Well, I know Billy Joe and Lailani like to party. They've said it themselves. Billy Joe said, I lived a party life for many, many years. Now, I don't, to be fair to Billy Joe, I mean, I don't think that Billy Joe is like prior to this, with like Quentin, she worked and she really tried to, I think, settle down. Maybe she was out on the weekends or whatever, but I don't think it was like every night. But Lailani, she never grew up, you know. So socially deviant lifestyle, which is drug use, partying again, need for stimulation, proneness to boredom. If it's not wide open 24/7, that's why a lot of people like Coca-Cola. We'll call it Coca-Cola. Uh, because they need that stimulation. They need the stimulation in their brain. They need to always be wide open, pedal to the metal, drugs, sex, rock and roll, and you'll burn out. You really will. So they just constantly gotta be going. They need some kind of stimulation in their life. Um, Now, a parasitic lifestyle, and it needs someone in life to be happy. Oh, if I don't have a man, if I don't have a woman, if I don't have this boyfriend, this girlfriend, this friend, if I don't have, someone I can attach myself with, I can't, they can't find happiness. They think happiness comes from a man, a woman, something, you know, again, very surface, when happiness really comes from within you. You are born with you, you will die with you. So if you're not happy, no one around you will be happy whatsoever. So, guys, if you're just entering, please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit it. Please hit it. Please hit it. Um, I need the thumbs up. I really do. I do. Um, Even more evidence that both children were probably drugged to sleep and be quiet, immobile, sleeping, a lot sick. I agree. I agree. Without a doubt, in my opinion, I feel like both of these kids were drugged. My opinion. An opinion is not a fact, by the way. Um, they had poor behavioral control, not in touch with their behavior. They don't accept responsibility. They're easily, they your their feelings are um, everywhere all of the time. We have heard this about Casey Anthony. We have heard this about Lailani, that kind of thing. So now we're going to look at the similarities between Leilani Simon and Casey Anthony. So here's some. Oh, let me pull this down. Okay. Now, Casey Anthony and Leilani, they're both 22 years old. Oh, thank you so much, my dear Kitty May. Just wanted to tell you again that I love and adore you. Thank you for your continued hard work. Hello to all in the chat. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up to show your support for Justin. Thank you for your super chat, Kitty May. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Guys, if you would like to become a member, I would greatly appreciate your membership. It really helps out me, my channel, and keeps us going. We can also drop a Patreon link in the chat if you would like to become a Patreon. That's where you get my phone number. You can talk to me. You can call me when you want. You can text me when you want. Um, we can have a little kiki and talk and all that. So, Corky, thank you so much for your support. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you. And of course, you can, if you want to send a super sticker or a super chat, it's all welcomed and really appreciated. We are going back down to Savannah, Georgia. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. Can't tell you when because of obvious reasons, but we are going. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. All right, now back to this. So both 22 years old, Lailani and Casey Anthony, 22 years old when both of their children went missing. Um, and I use that term loosely because they were never missing. Someone knew where they were, and in my opinion, uh, Lailani and Casey definitely uh, knew where their kids was. Now, Leilani, after she dumped little Quentin Simon, in my opinion, in a dumpster, she knows that he's at a landfill. She doesn't know particularly probably where in the landfill, obviously, but she knows. So that's that. 22 years old, both of them. Little Kaylee Anthony was 2 years old, and little Quentin Simon was 20 months old. So just a 4 month old difference. Younger mothers, teenage moms are um, more likely to uh, any younger mother. I mean, she's like like a teenager now, early teens, later teens. 22 to me is still almost a teenager, particularly if you're mentally not with it. Um, they both do drug use, drinking, again, partying, all of that. Poor behavior control. They both had tempers, 0 to 60. They gave their men hell. They gave their parents hell throughout their lifetimes. Both promiscuous sexual behavior. Again, they was in relationships, but from what I understand, I mean, definitely with Casey Anthony, she was in relationships plural, but nothing was ever truly committed. Monogamy, I guess you should say. And with Leilani, again, she was in a relationship, but monogamy wasn't her strong suit, allegedly. We'll say that. Both are very impulsive behaviors, fly by the wind of your sail or your kite or whatever you want to fly by. And that was that. Uh, you just, whatever flowed. There was no planning around anything. It was you just wake up, you get put the sleep from your eye, and then you go get your drugs, you know, uh, go to the bar, get wasted. That's it. No responsibility. No responsibility. Corky, thank you for becoming a member. Melissa, thank you for becoming a member. I do appreciate both of your support and both of your memberships. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if anybody else wants to become a member, I wouldn't object. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Thank you. Um, all right. So now, Casey Anthony's boyfriend, he said that he never wanted kids. He made that very clear. The boyfriend that she was mostly with while she was seeing uh, she was still she still had Kaylee, but she started dating this guy, and he said he would never, want kids or anything. And that was also thought to be another motive for um Casey Anthony. This guy, he didn't want any kids. Um and Casey obviously had a kid. She had a beautiful little daughter, Kaylee Anthony. um Now, Lailani, yeah, it's not really so much. I mean, she may have not wanted kids, even though she had kids, but um, her boyfriend, I don't really know if that was really much of a thing. So, pathological lying, both are known to be liars. Mother, um, stepfather said on television that you can't believe a word that's coming out of her mouth. Billy Joe has done interviews, said you can't believe nothing coming out of her mouth. And Casey Anthony was the same way. She took two detectives on a big old, cluster of saying that she worked here and that Kaylee was at this babysitter and then she was at this house and then she was at that. Just a mess. Both of them were validated through men and women. Thank you so much, Samantha, for your super sticker. I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you, my dear. So both validated through men and women. That's the only way they didn't get validation through being a mother, being a good person, being a good citizen. Through their job, through their spirituality, religion, or anything like that. Nothing. That's not how they got their validation. They got it through men and women, sexual kind of thing. Now, both of the parents of Casey, uh, Anthony, and Leilani, they both admit to spoiling, or bailing them constantly out for everything, all of their life, bailed them completely out of everything. They never had to take accountability for anything. Mommy or daddy was always there to bail them out, and they relied on that, and they took advantage of that. Now, Casey Anthony, she disposed of her child. She threw her half a mile down the road after she got her out of her car. She was decomposing in the Florida sun in a car, mind you, for God knows how long, and then wraps her up in a garbage bag and throws her 15 feet 4 inches, to be exact, off of the side of the road, 1/2 of a mile away from the Anthony's house. Now, Leilani allegedly disposed of her child as well. She disposed of, allegedly, we got to say now, of Quentin Simon through a dumpster. They threw them out like trash. The body that made them carried them for 9 months, also threw them out like garbage. Like garbage. Um, they both either had violence from either a parent or a domestic partner, meaning a parent either hit them as, either a child or an adult, or a domestic partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, physical abuse. They are also known to be violent with their domestic partner as well. They're also family members or friends. They've either gotten in a fight with their domestic partner, and I mean physically, uh, family members or friends, physical altercation. Now, uh, Casey Anthony would not tell where her child was. Uh, and she remains quiet to the authorities. Now, Leilani, she won't tell where the child is to the authorities. Now, according to Billy Joe, she told her that uh, he's in the landfill, right? Allegedly. And that she did it. And Billy Joe let the world to know. But from what we know now, Lailani has not told the authorities that. So the authorities may believe that through Billy Joe. But as far as we know, Lailani has not told authorities what she has done with Quentin Simon, even though they probably have, they obviously have evidence to believe that he is in that landfill because there's 3 or 4 cameras right there, right around the dumpsters, which I showed you guys in another video. Casey Anthony, Leilani. Uh, Casey Anthony said the child was kidnapped by a babysitter, right? Kidnapped by a babysitter. AMS92, thank you for becoming a member, dear. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. I would do the hula if I could right now, but I can't. Hold on. You can't believe Cher is allowed to talk to suspects in a case and not catch charges. Well, she's in Canada. Although, Cher said the other day that me, she said that I tried to have her swatted. I could not believe my mind. I'm like, first of all, I would never, ever, ever do that. And then she said that I told people to mass report her. I would never tell anyone to do that either. I have much more class than that. And she said she had the screenshots to prove it. And I said, show them up. Show them up. No, I'm not from Canada. And she lives in another country. That is not cool, Cher. In fact, just a week or so ago, you was in my chat and I was telling people not to attack you, to go back and look. I don't know, a week or so, a couple weeks ago, I don't know. Whenever I would never, on my mother's grave, I would never ever have anyone swat. I do not go real life. Ever. 1,000%. Ever. 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 Shame on her. I'm not interested in anybody's real life, to be honest with you. I live my own. So Casey Anthony said that little Kaylee was kidnapped by the babysitter, right? That was, I think, maybe a day or two prior. Now, Leilani said, "Ho ho, the babysitter may have taken the kids." Billy Joe said the babysitter may have taken the kids. And then Leilani said that Quentin's dad may have came and picked, or Quentin's dad came and picked him up for a couple days. And then she said Quentin's dad may have uh came and, take him through the night, came and, taken him. Yes, Zanny the nanny, yes. Um so Now, Casey gave multiple stories to what may have happened to her child, to the parents or the cops. She took them around everywhere, to these houses, that houses, this place, that place. Now, Leilani gave multiple stories of where or what happened to her child, to the mother, maybe the cops. I doubt it with the cops, to be honest with you, but to the mother, and through the mother told the world pretty much that all of these stories that Leilani has said. Now, Casey Anthony gave a speech that she wished her child would come home knowing that her child was dead. And it wasn't a speech, it was actually through a jail. I don't know why I put speech. Now, Leilani, she gave a speech that she wished little Quentin would come home, when really knowing full and well that Quentin Simon is in the landfill, allegedly. I have to say that now. Allegedly by Leilani, according to Billy Joe. And Billy Joe said just, I think it was last night, that both of her children were killers. She said that last night, or maybe the night before last. I don't know. So, yes. Now, so, and that's just that. I'm telling you, it's just crazy. There's no need to lie. I'm going to show you guys this. Listen, it kind of flashes in and out sometime. Yes, you're right, Cheryl. You are so right about that. This is, the picture quality is bad. It'll flash in and out and stuff, but this is a jailhouse talk between Casey Anthony's dad and Casey Anthony. And she knows that her daughter is in half a mile down the street from the Anthony's home while she's sitting in jail. And she still says, I just want my daughter to come home. And when she comes home, I'll be free. It's sickening. So pardon me. Pardon the. Let me make sure. Y'all stop. Can you hear it?
Dad, I don't care about all this other stuff. I mean, I don't care about the media. I don't care about what people have been saying about me. That doesn't matter.
Hold on. What? The front door? Silent watcher, but love what you're doing for Justice, baby boy. Keep. Oh, thank you. You're gonna make me cry. Thank you, Ams. 92. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really worked hard on this one. Thank you. I really do. Really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And don't be silent. Join the conversation. We'd love to have you. Thank you. It's very, very generous of you, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Very, very kind. Can y'all hear this?
Because I know it's not true, and everyone that knows me knows that it isn't true. All I want is Kaylee home, but I want to be there when she comes home.
I know you do. I know you do, sweetheart. I know. I mean, none of our lives are going to be what we used to know them as. Never again. I mean, all of us have joined a life club, and that's the club of missing children. That's the club that I didn't want to join. I know you didn't want to join. We didn't want to see Kaylee being a member of that club, but we are. That's just the way it is anymore. When you get out,
Keep listening to what she says.
we're going to be
Listen.
more proactive fighting missing children. No matter who it is, all of us are going to do that.
Absolutely.
Because that's what it's all about. All the material things in life and all these other things that we go through and we think we need to have and do, none of that matters. It's just obvious. And so close, I can feel her every night before I go to bed. I go out and I say, Kaylee, there's stars in the sky, sweetheart. I'm about you. There's more I can do. I would give my life right now for you and for her. To have you together. So would Mom. This is destroying your mother. She hurts so much. She feels so bad of maybe we've all been too domineering. Maybe we didn't let you be the best mom.
It's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault.
Well, I just wish I could have opened more up to you, and I wish I could have done stuff, but I can't go back. There's times I know you wanted to talk to me. I wish I would have listened. I wish I, but it's all that's going to change. I'm going to listen more. I have one question that I need to ask you, and I know it's going to be a tough one. Would you speak to someone else about Kaylee?
I already answered that. I mean, I'll try to the best of my ability.
The best of her ability, my ass.
All I can tell you, his name is Scott.
She knows her kid is dead, and through him, through her.
And he's just a remarkable man. And his connection, I know this. Yeah, he's an authoritative figure. He's with an agency, but he's very sympathetic, and I really believe that you have a great connection with him. I mean, I'd be willing to set that up with him. I mean, if you want to have,
Oh, Camille, thank you for the memberships, babe.
Dad, I understand all of that. I know I could do all of that, but again, things would be so much easier if I wasn't still here, if I was home. I want you to understand that. I mean, I feel that more every day. All I want is Kaylee home. I want to be there when Kaylee comes home.
Listen to this. I want to be there when Kaylee comes home. I would be so much better if I was on the outside. No, Casey Anthony, you would be better behind bars. But the jury didn't think so. And I forget why, because the jury thought they couldn't convict on something. To me, there should have been a retrial, I'm telling you, but they couldn't charge again for murder. And she's out of jail living her life. And listen, Leilani said the same thing in an interview. Maybe someone took him to save him. What did he needed saved from, Leilani? You? Is that what he needed saved from? Because I agree with that. He did need it saved from you, Leilani. But here we got Casey Anthony saying, I just want to be there when Kaylee comes home. She dumped her a half a mile away.
I want to be there with our family when she comes home. I don't want to have to wait 3 days, 4 days after that happens to see her again.
Mom and I have done everything we can financially to help with this. If we could do more, we would. out to some relatives and ask for help, and that's hard to ask. Dad, I understand that. I mean, I want you to realize everything that happened in your court stuff that was already predetermined before you got there. I'm sure Jose told you. I knew that going into it. Because years ago when I did the thing that I did, I don't want to go into this too deep, but everything was already handled within a judge's chambers or within a conference area before you went into court. This is the way it is. But it's usually how stuff is. But just know that this is reality for us, for you, for our granddaughter, for your daughter, and I wish there was something more that I could say and do. And
Remember, he was a police officer at one time.
As much as I can. Being where you're at, I know it's not the best stuff. I know you like certain things, but
Oh.
I realize coleslaw and bologna and maybe coffee and a donut or something.
Now here they're trying to butter her up.
Keep yourself up. Yeah, but it's not easy. It's not getting any easier, but I'm doing what I can. Are you allowed to write? Do you have pen and paper and stuff? It has to be supervised. I did with Jose last night. That's another reason I want you guys to all get together today. And I asked him last night. He left here. It was almost midnight. So I want you guys to get
That's right, 1-800-SUMMER or 1-800-TBI.
Like I said, I reached out before I got here, or as soon as I pulled in to talk to him. So I'll make sure I got some stuff that I want to see if I can get to you also. You know, a little letter and stuff that I'm writing to you, just to you. Yeah. And I know he's going to read it to you. And he's been giving stuff to me to see, so. Well, I think stuff from Andy, and I think I saw Andy's letter. I think it was something from Lauren and from Andy. And I got their cards the other night when he came.
So there you have it. Them both saying, we got Casey Anthony saying, I just want my poor Kaylee Anthony back, my daughter back, and I'll be so much better when she comes back. Yet she kept her in the back of a car in the Florida sun for God knows how long. And then she threw her 15 feet and 4 inches, less than 1/2 of a mile away from their home. And then we have Leilani saying the same thing, basically. You know, when he comes home, or, maybe someone needed to save him. I mean, hello, why can't you arrest her on a minor charge? No. Stop hurting kids. No, she never has had any other kids. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Do I think he's in the landfill? Yes, I do think he's in the landfill. I absolutely do. Absolutely do. Because of they have enough evidence on her. They have enough evidence on her to arrest her by far. And they're still gathering evidence, I'm sure. But there is 4 cameras that is right. I showed him the other day on the dumpster there in these homes. Oh my God, I think I got a super chat. Darlene, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. It's very, very generous of you, and it all helps. Thank you so much. And thank you, Camille, so much for your memberships that you have donated. I really do appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, I really do. Yeah. I think that they have more than strong evidence that she dumped him in there. I really do. I really do. Whose anniversary is it, or whose birthday? Whose was it? Me. Whose was it? Let me know. I think I got a super chat. Okay, let's sing it. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Love from Justice and Jaja. Good girl. All right, guys. Yeah, it's I've never been kicked out of a landfill. Serenaded Revenge, you got it, girl. um, but Marissa and I was kicked out of the dump. We were. We were. So I was out recording. I was like, guys, we're live on the scene, kind of like that. And like I had my car out and everything like that. And then Marissa's out there. She's on the phone. She's like in her big glasses and everything, talking. She's like, I just need 2 trays of something. And this guy comes up, and he's like on this little 4-wheeler looking thing, and he goes, y'all cannot be filming. Y'all cannot be filming. And I'm like, anyway, guys, so we're here on location. Like that. I just kept filming. That was like 2-minute video. I didn't give a shit. And he goes back and he gets my license number. And Marissa's like, get in the fucking car. I was like, you got kicked out of Goodwill? Damn, girl. We're bad bitches, aren't we? Thank you, Denali. I appreciate it. Thank you. Many blessings to your anniversary and your marriage, guys. And if you have a birthday, happy birthday. I appreciate it. Treat the ones you love good. Life is very short. We only get so many trips around the sun. There is billions of people on the planet, and we're all sharing this time and this space together right now, and we need to use it wisely. So treat the ones you love good, give them a hug. If you've ever lost someone you love, you really understand how precious time really is. And even when we've lost someone we love, we still forget sometimes. So, try not to forget. November Rain, wishing your mom just health, that she can kick cancer in the ass. I hope so, and I pray so for you. I volunteer for hospice when I have time, and I see it all the time, and I hate cancer. Unfortunately, I buried my father-in-law on my husband's birthday. A little over a year ago, he died at our home. And I know cancer sucks. and but hopefully your mom will be fine, and sending prayers to all of those that are sick. So, guys, I appreciate your time. We are a few seconds from 2 hours. I appreciate each and every single one of you. God bless you. God bless your families. Thank you for being here. You could have chosen to be anywhere, but you took the time to spend it with me, and for that, I'm grateful. So if you don't mind, just do me a solid and hit that thumbs up button. It is a way that helps my channel more than you know. It's just a simple thumbs up, but it makes such a big difference on my channel. Love you all. Good night and God bless. And thank you all, to my mods, to my Patreons, to my members, to people who have super chatted, to people who have thumbs up, to people who have commented. Thank you, each and every single one of you, even people who disagree with me. That's okay. God bless you. Bye bye.